Yeah. All right. You all are now watching Juke Boys Sports Show. And we got a special guest here today. For special times. Get out your nose, girl. Come on, man. You're on camera. But I'm Ralph. This is my daughter, Elena B. Here with the homie Kai. What's happening, bro?
Hey, I'm good. I'm feeling great. I had a great weekend, got a chance to relax, get a massage, not feel old, you know what I'm saying? Watch some sports the whole nine. So I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Just
Birthday boy.
Happy birthday, Dad. Happy birthday, dear.
Oh,
thank you, baby. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, it is my birthday. Daddy's 32.
Yep.
All right, go hang out with Granddad, baby. Love you. She's funny, but so yeah, it is my birthday. We are chilling, recording from the crib, and about to get a good one in. But before we get jumping, man, we got to send a shout out to the sponsors. If you want to do any photo shoots, music videos, podcasts like what you watch when I normally have the green screen behind me, just call me at the bottom of the screen, 707 Fit Boxer. And we had a wild week in football, man. I don't know if you watched that Monday Night Football game, but that's a lot to be talked about.
Well, the Steelers are banned in my community, man.
Yeah. You rock, and I'm gonna let you rock first with who's the NFC Player of the Week.
All right, so we had the NFC and AFC Players of the Week. So yes, like Ralph said, it was an exciting weekend for football, week 9 to be exact. And there was a lot of different players that I could have chose from the AFC. I mean, I thought about players like Nick Chubb after the departure of one Odell Beckham Jr. on the Cleveland Browns, and feeling like the Browns get back to running the football and Nick Chubb being the catalyst for that. But I have to go with the Josh Allen crime that circulated social media and the game versus the Jaguars and the Bills. The Bills got upset by the Jaguars, the lowly Jaguars. Josh Allen, this dude clearly, look, he made a name for himself. Highly touted linebacker coming out of college. Had a great rookie season with 10.5 sacks, but then he had a knee injury. And last game on Sunday, he balled out. He straight balled out. This dude wound up having 2 sacks, a team-high 8 tackles, an interception, and a fumble recovery. You can cue the Ice Cube "Today Was a Good Day" soundtrack for that game. I mean, this dude was completely in the backfield, the entire game. Got a pick. And he was actually responsible for Josh Allen's worst game, apparently, in the last 2 seasons, even though he fell through for 264 passing yards. But for me, for the AFC, I had to go with the linebacker from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Josh Allen crime. So shout out to him. Continue doing what you're doing. And yes, everybody will no longer remember you now as the other Josh Allen. You truly made a name for yourself. So I'm wishing him good health. And then the NFC, for me, Ralph, this was slightly a toss-up. And the only reason why I say slightly a toss-up was because it was 2 quarterbacks, right? And they were both devoid of their number 1 receiving option. One was DeAndre Hopkins, okay? Colt McCoy filling in for Kyler Murray. Those are big shoes to fill in for. Yeah, it was Colt McCoy, little old Colt McCoy, right?
That's crazy, bro. I did not know that. That was
cool. Yeah, he's still rolling, Texas fight. Right. But he filled in for Kyler Murray, who a lot of people have as a MVP candidate. Some have him as a leading MVP candidate for what many believe is the best team currently in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, and he played extremely well. But then I looked at Matt Ryan on the other side in the NFC as well. And facing a division opponent, just like the Cardinals face a division opponent, they played the New Orleans Saints, a team that had just beat the Bucs, and the Saints wound up getting a lead They were down. They wound up getting the lead. I believe it was 25-24. I believe they got the game to 25-24. And Matt Ryan, he led the game-winning drive, come from behind, 64-yard touchdown pass to one Cordell Patterson, who I also have on my fantasy team. Great fantasy pickup off the waiver wire, people, for those who picked them up. Cordell Patterson had 126 yards. Matt Ryan finished with 23 of 30, 343 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns in a clutch win without Calvin Ridley. And he played with a rookie tight end in Kyle Pitts, who did have 1 touchdown that was dropped, but he was able to recover in the second half. So I went with Matt Ryan only because he had to come from behind to win that game. And I think he did a good job. So those are my two players. All right there, man.
And so for me, I'm gonna go with a game that the first game of the week.
All right.
Jonathan Taylor balled out, man. I can pull up these stats here. So off rip, homie had 19 carries, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Well, as 30 yards out the backfield as a pass catcher, 2 receptions, giving him a little bit over. I think he was right at the 200-yard mark. He was right at the 200-yard mark in yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns, and you could just see once he got going, that game was out of reach. Mm-hmm. So it ended up being a good game, though. Going into it, it's like, all right, Coach Jets, who want to watch this?
Not me.
Right. It was one of those games that, like, at my night job, we don't have a band on Thursday, so for me, when we get to that Thursday, it's like, all right, cool, football. And then once football's over, that's how I know. Once that game is over, that's how I know we get ready to close.
Right.
So, like, once it was a blowout at one point, and I was like, it's gonna be a long night.
Yeah.
Up. And it was like 5-6 minutes left in the game, and the Jets had got it down to to the final score. Ended up what ended up being the final score, 30-5. And I was like, oh man, Jets about to come back, and then nah. That ended up not happening. But yeah, he did his thing, man. And in my NFC player of the week goes to Tony Corriente, the head referee for the Monday night game. For the Monday night football game, he's the head referee. As the Pittsburgh referees come through in the clutch with a 29-27 victory over the Bears. We got that was out there balling, bro. He had 12 penalties, 120 total yards, 6 missed calls, and 1 terrible taunting call, as well as a very well-timed hip check.
Yo, that was wild. That whole sequence that had occurred with the hip check and the taunt. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was sitting there like I was so mad, bro. Like watching that whole thing, I was just like, come on, G. Like for real, that's what we doing. Mm-hmm. This was hot on the streets. Y'all just gonna do the Bears like this, and like, and he really is my NFC player of the week. By the way, that's who I'm riding.
That's fair. It's fair. It makes it interesting and intriguing. I like that. It's clever.
Like I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game, man. At one point, we ended up switching over to the Bulls game and watching the Bulls just destroy the Nets. And
I was watching the Bulls and the Nets and the Lakers and the Hornets.
Yeah. But when we ended up coming back to the game, it was just like, all right, let's see what's popping. We seen that Justin Fields had kind of pushed the ball down the field a little bit, and so the one thing I say is, as a person who was a fan of his in college, and I'm from Chicago, but I'm a Raider fan, but I still follow the Bears. Yeah. As long, I don't know if it's going to be, I doubt it. It's going to be Matt Nagy that's going to end up being his coach for the foreseeable future. But whoever it is, they got them one because he pushed the ball down the field. He looked good in crunch time. If it's not for multiple offsides calls, and all of those missed calls, like I was looking at it on Instagram, and I'll probably end up putting them in the final post as far as how many calls that were just like the taunting call. It was a Roquan Smith offsides call, a no call on a roughing the passer right after Ben just got a roughing the passer call for something that was very similar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then mental lapses on that final drive, which ended up leading to the Steelers taking the lead. It's like you can see where they look good, man. It was a good showing. They didn't look good to start out, but that second half, the adjustment they made and the ability to push the ball down the field.
They got that momentum.
Yeah, they got a staple of running backs with Montgomery and Herbert, as well as Justin Fields. You can pair him with a Mooney. Hopefully, you can keep Allen Robinson and let Cole Kmet.
Allen Robinson does great. I agree with you on Allen Robinson because he does great with a variety of different quarterbacks. Hopefully, though, Justin Fields stays as a starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. Yeah,
but yeah, man, and those were our players of the week, man. Tony Moriente.
Tony Moriente, MVP.
And Jonathan Taylor in the AFC, man.
Oh, man. Well, hey, one thing we have in common is we both have – oh, no. I was going to say Jonathan Allen. Never mind. I was going to say we both had Jonathans. I had the Josh Allen, so – but no.
And the crazy thing about it is that was who I wanted the Raiders to draft was Josh Allen. The only time
before him
was when we drafted Farrell, but it was because one was a 4-3 and the other was a 3-4. So it was like Josh Allen is where he's supposed to be at. But as a talent, as a pass rushing talent, I would have much rather have him. But he was your more stand up and go get the ball versus with his hand in the ground. So he went to where he was supposed to be at. I'm happy he's doing good things over there too. I've been kind of following him. He's doing this thing down there. But I want to go. You know what? We want to talk about OBJ. He was officially released.
Yeah. Let's talk about.
He got 48 hours to clear waivers.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard. Me and my boy was talking about it this morning. I've heard that his first choice is the Packers as of right now. If he had the choice, he would want to go to Green Bay. Doesn't sound like news I want to hear. I don't even know how you feel about it because I would rather. The thing for me is I like parity in the league. I'm tired of seeing the same people always in the same spots. So, like for me, the Packers have this tradition of always being in the mix, but it's like people want to go play there. Like they want to go play with these quarterbacks that they have, which I'm not tripping about that part. Like, but at the same time, it's like I would much rather see someone go to a team like Odell Beckham go to the Ravens and partner up and finally give where we think Rashad Bateman has the potential to be a really good wide receiver, but at the same time, if you give him someone like an OBJ, catch the rock and get up out of there, who's actually like a good route runner, like Hollywood Brown is starting to get to a certain point, but
he's a body catcher,
right? Where OBJ go out there and get that thing, So, you to partner him with someone like that would be great to see, and then giving Derek Carr someone like that would be great to see in the AFC, especially because the thing about the AFC is that it's so up in the air.
Right.
So he could easily go to, because I don't even think, because honestly for me, from what I've seen from the Packers defense, I don't really see them like, I just don't, even if he goes there, I don't see them beating the Rams or the Cardinals.
See, that's the thing, because when we talk about the Packers, well, I can hold that off when we get to our power rankings. I think I'll hold off on that when we get to the power rankings. But I feel like, there's something. I'll put it like this: all these teams really in the NFL have flaws.
Right.
I don't think there's really a perfect team except the closest to perfect, right? I would probably have to say is the Cardinals, because they prove that they can win without their two best options, right? And everyone's on that. But health is going to be key now. DeAndre Hopkins, hamstrings can wane, right? They can linger, and so this could be something that once we get to the playoffs, hampers the Cardinals. But not to get too much off on the subject at hand. I think with Odell Beckham, you make some really great points about teams, and when we talk about the best fit, I think the best fit is going to be for him. There's multiple teams that he can go to. I think the Patriots are a team because you look at devoid of offensive weaponry outside of the tight end position with Hunter Henry. You have Jacoby Myers, but they don't have anyone that's going to truly demand a double team, demand safety coverage. Then also he can take an underneath route and for distance. And you want to pair a rookie quarterback with an experienced veteran at times as well. Then I look at Louisiana, New Orleans Saints, because he's there. He's from LSU, and sometimes going home will get you right. Being around family. You know what I'm saying? Playing in front of your family. This is a team that Michael Thomas is pretty much done for the season. So I feel like he can insert in there. They're a passing offense anyway. They're not going to run the ball heavy with Alvin Kamara, and he's going to get targets. The Packers, okay, you can have a Julio, A.J. Brown sort of situation. They have, I think, a close to a complete team over there in Green Bay. And you have the quarterback. The quarterback play is key, right? And then the Ravens. And the reason why I didn't put the Ravens first is because I still wanted them to get Julio, and I said that in the last show, even though he's a little older and longer in the tooth. But the only reason why I didn't say the Ravens is because of this. Lamar Jackson always needed a big-bodied possession-style receiver that can catch outside the numbers. Odell Beckham has a great catch radius, but he's a smaller receiver. He's a speed-type receiver, and the Ravens have a Duvernay, even though they don't use him as much. They have Hollywood Brown, who Lamar has a connection with, and he's implementing Rashad Bateman. So I'm actually not as bullish on Odell for the fact that if we're going to get another receiver for Lamar, I want them to continue to pair him with bigger receivers per se. I'm not against it, but due to the fact that Ralph, our secondary is so porous right now. We just lost our starting safety for the season. I don't know if I told you that. We lost him during the game. So Deshaun Elliott, I was about to say rest in peace, my bad. Pour out some liquor, excuse me. Yeah, we lost him to injury, not to something else. I was like, man, but that's what it felt like. So I would actually put the Ravens fifth, but I'm going to go with I can't believe I'm going to say this, bro, but I'm going to go with the best fit for Odell Beckham, the best fit. If he wants to win a ring, go to the Packers. Yeah. The second best fit, I'm going to say the Saints, only because he walks into a whole bunch of targets. If he wants statistical production, go to the Saints. If he wants to win, go to the Packers. I think he can win in Baltimore too. Don't get me wrong. But just because for need's sake, offensive line, defense, you know what I'm saying? It's a long season, and Baltimore is cold. Well, actually, Green Bay is cold too. So either way, but you get what I'm saying. Everybody wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody wants to play with who else do I want to play with? Patrick Mahomes and all that. So the Ravens ran Lamar Jackson 21 times last game, which I didn't like. But you do what you got to do to get wins, and that's all that matters. But I don't think Odell Beckham wants to join a team where they're going to run the quarterback 21 times. And I think the biggest misconception about Lamar, now I think people are starting to come around, obviously. But my last point is the biggest misconception is receivers don't want to play with him. No, receivers definitely want to play with him. It's just the offense that the Ravens run isn't conducive to their stats, and that's how they make money.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think the Packers, to get a Super Bowl, that's the team. But I don't like the whole super team thing like you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, hey, I'm against it as well.
Right. Because for me, man, it's always been teams that had multiple stars and things like that on both sides of the football, like
the Bucks.
Like the Bucks. Like even if you go like back in the year, bro, like the best defenses have like that Bucks defense. They had Sapp, they had sitting outside, Derek Brooks in the middle, and then Rondé Barber and John Lynch in the second.
Fact.
So it's like the better the defense or the better the offense, they have those multiple stars that are in there. Now when you can partner, like when you got 2-3 stars on offense and 2-3 stars on defense, that's when you start to have those dynasties. But like, so I'm not like opposed to that. Like those are just it's just a part of the game and even in basketball. Like having this argument, and this is wild, a wild thing my boy said. My boy had the nerve to say Luka at right now is better than Larry Bird at his peak. And I was just like,
can we stop with this? And I like Luka. You know I like Luka. But we need to stop.
Stop. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Just stop. Like I get it. But think about this. Luka has no one on his team. Larry Bird averaged 27, 7, and 7 with Robert Parrish, Robert McHale, and Dennis Johnson in the starting lineup. You think if it was just him, you don't think them numbers would be higher?
Facts.
And I'm just like and that's just like his individual numbers. I'm not even talking about the accolades at that point. Because he got MVP, two finals MVPs. I was just like, sorry to go off two times.
And Larry can play in any era. You always said that. Yeah.
But yeah, we use that. Actually, we got one more before we go over to NBA.
Yep.
The NFL power rankings.
Power. No one man should have all that. What? Power. All right. So we're going with the power rankings. Did you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So I broke this down, my science. You know what's funny is my power rankings probably look wildly different every week. But anyway, no. Right. I think the number one team has remained the same for me since week one. I'm trying to think if I ever had the Cardinals not number one. But I'm going to let people know. Right. Arizona Cardinals, 8-1. Right now I have them, my notes here, that they beat the division opponent, the 49ers, who, let's be real, the 49ers are not a good team. But they were without Kyler Murray, MVP candidate. You know, they were out without the best receiver in the NFL, in DeAndre Hopkins, due to the hamstring injury and the fact that they had Colt McCoy, a backup quarterback who had to step in. And, you know, there's great expectation. He did a good job of managing the football game and getting them a win. So now that they've proven that they can win from the defensive side of the ball so far, they've proven they can win on the offensive side of the ball so far, and they've proven that they can win when their star players are out. So that's my number one. Were we going one? Did you want me to go 1 through 10 real quick? Just run it down.
No, we're gonna kind of go 1, 10, 10.
One, yeah, okay. I was trying to remember how we won it last hour. So you give me your 1 and 2 or whatever.
So I know it's we're coming off a loss.
Okay.
We've lost Ruggs, and we just cut Arnett. I don't know what he was on, bro.
Yo, I saw that.
I swear, people just be forgetting they play in the NFL, bro. Like you're not just a regular dude in the hood,
bro. The Raiders are running back to that old farm, man. What's going on,
bro?
Oh man,
like
y'all can have nice things, huh?
Bro, like, did you see how big that rifle was? I was like, bro, what is that? But to get back to the task at hand, I got us at 10.
You go from 10 up? Okay. Yeah.
I know they got us at I know we're coming off a loss, but if you know anything about the Raiders, I don't know what it is about that 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time game. Yeah. Flying East Coast to play the Giants, or not the Giants, but whenever they play the Jets, Philly, or the Giants, Patriots too at 10 o'clock. It's just not a good look. We do not play well.
I dig it.
And there was plenty of opportunities for us to take that game. Final 3 drives, this field goal, 2, and then two interceptions or 2 turnovers. So we cleaned that up, and I think we're in the clear. Okay. And then at 9, I got the Saints, man. I I just think that the way that defense is playing, it's just it's the way that defense is playing right now. It's just a little bit of they just look real good, man. Like the defense is taking over games. I know they lost to the Falcons, but
it was a close game.
But it was a close game. It's a rival. That's a division game. You know the ins and outs of how to attack a team. We've seen a very bad Raiders team beat the Chiefs convincingly, and then that team went on to win the Super Bowl. So it's like hold your horses if you think the Saints is not a top 10 team just because they lost to the Falcons.
All right. So I'll run off. Let's see. I'll start from the bottom. So you guys already know my number one. So that's no mistake. Number one, the Cardinals. But my number 10 was the Saints. So I actually had the Saints at 10 for the reasons that you mentioned. That division game, they did beat the Bucks with a backup quarterback. So that was huge. And then I had the Chargers as my number 9 team. Justin Herbert, hoping, that team gets back to form. Defensively, they still have Joey Bosa. They can still pressure the quarterback. And when you look at the division, Ralph, obviously that's your division. You look at the Raiders. You look at the Chargers. You look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I still believe, once again, they're not playing up to par out of all those teams in that division. And so the Chargers, I believe, it's going to come down to the Chargers and the Raiders. It's just that, that loss, obviously, kind of put the Chargers down. And then I'll go 8, and then I'll switch it back on you since you had your 10 and 9. My number 8 was the New England Patriots. Now they're 5-4, so they have one more loss than the Chargers and the Saints, but they are on a 3-game win streak. And so people are like, well, look about the teams that they played, but they're 4-0 on the road with a rookie quarterback, right? And it seems like the more I watch the Patriots, they're getting better and better ever since that emotional game for Tom Brady in Foxborough. They played the defending champs really well, and I like the poise that Mac Jones played with. And you can only beat the teams that are in front of you, but it's also how you beat those teams. And I think they did play the Jets during that win stretch, and they smacked the Jets. If I'm not mistaken, they still have the highest point total this season when they scored 54 points. So I like what the Patriots were able to do, knowing it was with Christian McCaffrey and what's his name? The quarterback. I'm so sorry. It's eluding me. For the Panthers. Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold, right. Christian McCaffrey returning. Sam Darnold returning. The Patriots, their defense, I dropped in fantasy foolishly when I heard the news, and I lost a tar by point-something points. It was like 110.66 to 111 point. I was like, man, all because I switched the Patriots defense out for the Cardinals defense, out for the 49ers defense, because the 49ers are playing Colt McCoy. Silly me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the Patriots defense delivered. They held down Sam Darnold again. So Bill Belichick, once again, doing a great job of taking away the opposing team's best weapon. So that's my number 8 team, the New England Patriots.
All right. So for me at 8, I got.
It's always tough. Lucky number 8 ball.
Because I might have messed up, but at the same time I don't, because I threw the Raiders at 10. So that means that one of the teams that I've had really high is not going to be on my 10 at one point.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to decide in my mind who is the one that got to fall out.
I could think of a team in there, depending on what teams you haven't said yet.
I gotta pull them out. I gotta pull them out. So I'm gonna reveal this later, because you're gonna end up realizing who got pulled.
Okay.
When they're not mentioned in this 10. But I'm gonna go with Buffalo Bills at 8, man. I've had them. I don't remember how high I had them before, but I think I've always kind of had them in this range. They kind of go up a little higher, a little low. I think I had them as high as 2 or 3 at one point.
Okay.
So for me, I like the Buffalo Bills, man. The one thing that kind of has me alarmed is their inability, or they kind of got a little bit of that Chiefs center where they just do not run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're gonna end up trying to, like, right now they're 5-3.
Yep.
Like a lot of teams are in that middle 5-3, 5-4 pack. I think that for them, they're gonna have to run the ball. Especially playing at Buffalo, you're not gonna be able to have Josh Allen throw the ball 30, 40 times.
Yeah.
And
be the leading rusher.
Right. As well. So it's like you gotta run the ball, hand the ball off to your backs, and at least take some of that pressure off of him, off his arm, having to make a play every time.
Okay. I dig it.
That's why I got them at 8. Because when the offense is clicking off, they're throwing the rock. Cole Beasley is out there coming out the slot. We got Stephon is doing Stephon-like things and doing the thing, man. But like they got to run the ball.
Yeah. You want to see balance from them.
Exactly. You're going to need that balance in order to make that work. And so for me, that's where I got them at 8. At 7, I'm gonna have to go Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at 7, I'm gonna go Chargers. Their ability to, like, we seen what they did to the Raiders. They was all over them. Joey Bosa was everywhere. Justin Herbert is proven that he very soon will be a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Derwin James on the back end in that secondary. I just like them a lot, even though they play in my division. I still think that in all, once it's said and done in January, we will win the division.
Okay.
I think the Raiders will still win the division, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chargers winning the division.
Okay. So yeah, the Bills at 8 and the Chargers at 7. So me, I had the Bills at hold up. Yeah, I already gave you my 8 team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you my Bills. So the Bills were number 7 for me at 5-3. They looked horrible, bro, versus the Jaguars. I mean, look, man, any given Sunday, as we call it, and I'm not talking about the movie, but I believe it was anyway, I forgot the actors in the movie, but I'm not talking about about the movie. They looked one-dimensional offensively. Josh Allen was one of leading them in rushing. I know Zach Moss wound up getting injured. Their defense is still number 1 in takeaways, but that offensive line did them no favors. Josh Allen crime. When you're playing a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, there is no reason for you to only score 6 points versus them when you can't even put together a scoring drive. That was just horrible. And I look throughout the NFL, and there's been a lot of teams, even good teams, that have, losses to certain teams, inferior teams. But when you lose to a team like the Jaguars in the fashion in which you lost, I have to move you out of my top 5, and I need to see balance for the reasons that you mentioned. So I actually had them number 7, though, because I still believe that they are a good team with coaching, et cetera. And then I'll give you my because you gave me your 7 as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'll give you the 6, and then we'll switch back. So number 6, I think I had them at 6 last week, I believe, as well, just outside the top 5, I believe, either 5 or 6. But my team, the Baltimore Ravens, once again, Lamar Jackson, he's really been putting this team on his back. He just broke Michael Vick's 100-yard game rushing record, I believe, with 12. They displayed the ability to win from behind. Yet again, another week, they've had 3 games so far this season where they've had to come from behind, and they've won them all. And Lamar Jackson has gotten hot in every single one of those comebacks. One of the interceptions that he wound up throwing wasn't even his fault. Anthony Barr tipped it in overtime and literally caught the ball. So that wasn't even his fault when he did that. But the running game, it looked like Le'Veon Bell, they might have struck oil with Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was averaging about 5 yards a carry. Devontae Freeman played really well from the running. So we actually finally got a spark. We're winning games in spite of injuries. And despite all of this, the Baltimore Ravens are quietly number one in the entire NFL in time of possession. So say what people want to say about the Ravens, but they're actually controlling the clock. And so once they're coming from behind, though, they're not giving the ball back. So pretty much it's like, okay, we get the ball, we're going to score. You're not going to see the ball back, and the game's over. Justin Tucker, best field goal kicker. Now, here's one thing with the Baltimore Ravens. The one thing with the Baltimore Ravens, they did lose Deshaun Elliott, their starting safety. But we have to talk about what they're doing right now. So if you're still winning games, I have to give them credit for still winning games. And they're getting back Nick Boyle, the best blocking tight end. They just activated him. He's coming back to the starting roster, as well as Derek Wolfe. Sammy Watkins is coming back. So now you're starting to get some of these offensive pieces. I'm like, can we get a defensive piece back? So it's crazy. The negative I will continue to say, though, with them is you beat the teams in your schedule. Okay, cool. Now we have to get into division play. We're on a short week. We're going to play the Miami Dolphins. But after we play the Dolphins, I think we get into division play. We're going to play the Browns. We're going to play the Steelers. We're going to play the Bengals again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that, I believe, really honestly, because they don't have a choice, that's really the final test for the Ravens. Can we now see how good really are the Baltimore Ravens? They're winning in spite of injuries, so I give them credence for that. But I don't want it to be a team where it's like, oh, man, this team is like last year's Steelers or something like that, And my last point, and I'll let you go. Tony Dungy made a great point about the AFC when they asked someone Football Night in America. They're like, hey, Tony, who do you have in the NFC? He's like, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. How about the AFC? He's like, man, I don't even know. He's like, it's a new team each week. This week I'll go with the Ravens. Right. He's like, this week I'll go with the Ravens. He's like, next week it will probably be. He said next week will probably be Buffalo. So then, go ahead, Ralph, for the second time. Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
6 for me is the same as your 6.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I was trying to sit there and see if I can push them as far as 5, but just who I have at 5 right now, I just can't.
Okay.
I can't at this moment. And my 5 is going to be the Packers.
Okay.
The way that the team won, the Kansas City Chiefs been struggling, I know, but the way that defense was able to shut that offense down as well as get that win, Jordan Love getting that win. I think they did what they were supposed to do. So for me, I got the Packers at 5.
Wait. The Chiefs won.
Oh, the Chiefs did win. You're right.
I was like, whoa, that's cool. It's cool. Now, I was like, what up? Jordan Love played horrible that game. I was like, but he didn't have any sync.
And it's like you throw in a young quarterback, but the defense did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Insert Aaron Rodgers into that offense. It's a whole completely different game at that point. And I think they end up winning very convincingly on that point. But so that's my 5.
Okay. Did you want to go with number? Let's see. You did 6. I gave you 6. Okay, yeah. So I'll go with 5 and 4.
5 and 4.
Yeah. So number 5, I got Dallas Cowboys. That loss was ugly, but I still believe in their defense, and I believe they still have can score at all 3 levels. Then number 4, the bye week Bucks. I call them the bye week, continuing to play like an MVP. 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 67% completion percentage, 108 quarterback rating. The defense ranks number 5 in takeaways, and we'll see what happens. As they get players back healthy. So that's my 4, my 5 and 4. All right, back to you.
All right, so my 4, I got the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams at 4. Matt Stafford. I know they're coming off a loss, but they still 7-2.
Yeah.
Also kind of overlooked teams, thinking just because of who they are and what they're doing that you're just gonna be able to walk in there and do whatever it is that you want to do. Mm-hmm. And which is why I also have that team higher on my power ranking. And then at 3, Wait, because that's 4-3 for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the team that beat them. Tennessee Titans playing very good on defense. Autry was everywhere, bro. Nico Autry, Justin Simmons was balling. Landry coming off the edge. Your boy Nino Brown, AJ Brown, doing his thing. Julio he's working his way back from injuries, but he's getting
he's getting there now.
I can't believe Adrian Peterson came out of nowhere. Homie was watching the game with us last week. Now he in the game on Sunday night scoring touchdowns.
Pick him up on the waiver wire, everyone. No, number one priority.
Right.
Oh man. So that's your 3. You said 3.
3 and 2.
All right, and then my 3 is the Tennessee Titans. I do not have the Rams, shockingly, on this list right now. I know, but 5-game win streak, primetime wins versus Buffalo. Beat the Rams at LA. Their interior defense is generating quarterback pressure now, winning despite not having Derrick Henry, who was out who had to get foot surgery. They're 5-0 versus last season's playoff teams. They have an identity, which is run the ball, pound you, and play physical defense. And they forced Jared Goff to turn the ball over. And it looked like with Jared Goff, I'm seeing something from Jared Goff, even though he's played really extremely well this season, right? And he did beat the Buccaneers this year. But the fact that it seems like he doesn't want to take the sack and he always wants to throw the ball rather than take the sack. And that could be something. I know it's just one game, but that's just something to watch out for come playoff time. And then number 2, I have the Green Bay Packers at 7-2. They're on a 7-game win streak. They lost to the Chiefs with no Aaron Rodgers at quarterback on the road, and the Chiefs still didn't play great at all. They only scored 14 points, and offensively they weren't good. But they still held the Chiefs to only 14 points, credit to their defense. And they beaten the Cardinals in Arizona on Thursday Night Football at a primetime game. So I have the Packers as my number 2. All right. So for you, it's 2-1, and we can wrap it up.
2 is the Buccaneers, man. It's a fully loaded squad. My 1 and 2 pretty much hasn't really changed much. I think my first one I had the Bucs at 2, and I think the second one we did I had them like at 3 or 4. Okay. Buccaneers, Cardinals as 2-1.
All right. Yep. And I had the Cardinals at number 1 as well. So as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, we're in agreement with that.
And so we're going to transition over to NBA, man. What rookie has impressed you the most?
Look, man, I'm going to say it right now, man. I genuinely love this player as a rookie because he has an identity and it's on the defensive side of the ball, and he does it very, very well. His name is Davion Mitchell, a.k.a. Off Night, because when you play against him, regardless of what type of star you are or if you're a bench player or whatever, you will have an off night. Let me tell people a little bit about Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, he wound up going to the University of Baylor, Big 12 all defense, and he was a defensive conference player of the year at Baylor. And this dude has been balling. And I always say what your peers say about you truly matters. You know what I'm saying? I always look at what your peers say about you. And, you know, he wound up garnering high praise from the likes of Steph Curry, from the likes of what's it called? Spider Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, shooting guard from the Utah Jazz, due to his defensive prowess and his defensive performance that he actually wound up putting up against those players in their games. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually really quickly, I want to pull up one of the quotes if I can find it. I actually wound up bookmarking it. I don't know why it's not rolling. Okay, hold up. Give me a second. Davion Mitchell. Here we go. All right. But while I pull that up, I'll just give it to you real quick. That's my guy, but he held Steph Curry to 29 points on 39% shooting, 27% for three-point land. This is the game after Steph had 45 points. He held Dame Dollar at 8 for 24, 0 for 9 from 3, and Spider Mitchell 9 for 25 and 5 turnovers. I mean, this dude, if we remember now, in Summer League, he was going up against James Bouknight, who a top 15 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, he made him
the Charlotte Hornets.
He made him look extra regular.
Yeah, pretty much. He went off. And Donovan Mitchell, this is what Donovan Mitchell had to say He said, first off, Davion is as advertised. Donovan told reporters on Friday night he does a lot of solid things that disrupted not only myself, but a lot of us. Steph Curry said just the confidence of a guy coming into his third game in the league. You could definitely tell he has all the tools in the kit to be a defensive stopper. So that's what Steph Curry told him, said about him. And you look at the likes of Patrick Beverley or Drew Holiday or Kyle Lowry and the defensive prowess that they bring, and Davion Mitchell is right there in line. And he could actually make, all rookie team, all defensive team, something like that in his rookie season. So that's my guy.
For me, man, I was really looking forward to doing this one because I have so many different people that was, how high I was on Jalen Suggs. After watching Davion Mitchell and I was there at the summer league, sitting courtside with the homie with Jamal, and we was talking about it. Like, man, this dude, I didn't know he could lock up like that.
And he's 6 foot.
I didn't know he could lock up like that. And one of them, I think to be honest, like the most impressive to me, I have people that I like my favorite is Jalen Green.
Okay.
30-piece in his third game. In his second or third game, only person to do it was Mike. Like him, he did it way before Kobe, but Kobe didn't play that often at 17. He did it before LeBron.
Right.
Almost a quarter to do it. So he's my favorite. But if I had to say the most impressive, because I've seen people picking him as the rookie of the year, and I was like, I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna have my most impressive to me is Scotty Barnes, bro. What he's been able to do with getting a lot of minutes for the Raptors, averaging 18-9 with 2 assists a game.
Yeah,
he's averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists since the last time the NBA put out their power ranking like a week ago.
Yeah,
so he's been balling, man. Last game, double, 21 and 12. And for me, man, he's doing his thing, bro. Like he's been balling, playing a lot of minutes with that Raptors team, who's trying to make the playoffs, and he's looking like he immediately inserted into that team, and it's gonna make moves.
Hey, I'm not mad at that pick at all. My bad.
Keep going.
Oh no, I'm not mad at that pick at all. The reason why I gave the surprise look was because I just thought the name you're going to say was going to be someone else. Others are going to say Evan Mobley, another guy who's playing really well. So I just thought that the name you're about to say, I was like, oh, he's going to say Evan Mobley or something.
Well, I kind of expected Evan Mobley to be right about where he's at right now.
Okay. So I know.
I looked at him more of like a project. I thought he would be nice in 2-3 years from now, not day one.
Good point. Yeah. The Raptors have a good development system too.
Yeah. They do. I mean, true. I definitely. I'm looking forward to keep saying what we gonna keep getting from these rookies, man. Like Davion. I want your boy to start getting his feet wet. Cade Cunningham. Kuminga
to come like 13 from the field.
Yeah. Kuminga, I can't wait to see him come back from injury. And then keep seeing what ends up happening in Houston, bro. Like I think them, they got Christian Woods, they got KPJ and
Jalen Green.
Bro, like I think those three together with a Kenyon Martin Jr. is just run.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you seen with LeBron, it took LeBron and a missed shot at the end. Like the Houston Rockets could have won that game.
Whew. Yeah, and the Houston Rockets, they play with no fear.
Nah, they just some young dudes out there. Like, yo, we just ready to hoop.
Yeah, they ready to hoop. I like what I see from
KD mode. I just want to hoop, bro.
Yeah, and Jalen be trying to dunk on everyone too.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Man, I love that. I think that it takes a certain mindset and aggression, which is why I've always loved Russ's game, because he has that Ja Morant, us against the world, like especially when people was disrespecting y'all and calling them the Houston G Leaguers. or the G League Rockets or something like that. Like, come on, don't do this. Like, that then still in the NBA. There's a reason why they're here, not there.
Right.
Now they might be young and a bunch of names you never really heard of, but at the end of the day, like they go out there, they lace up them shoes, and they get paid like everybody else get paid.
Facts. I definitely agree on that. So it's going to be interesting to see like how these rookies continue to progress moving forward. I have both Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham on my fantasy team too as well, guys. So I was able to scoop them in the back of the draft. So that's going to be fun. And there's going to be a lot of good NBA games tonight as well with what's going on with the NBA. So, yeah.
And so with that, man, we're going to jump right into the power rankings.
Yes, I was waiting for this one, man.
Yeah,
I'm talking to some homies about this one.
And it's crazy when you go and you look at like some of the stuff, like the records. I'm very surprised. Really surprised with some of these teams because I thought some of these teams would fall out. And the ones that are just sticking around, they staying competitive and balling out. I'm really looking forward to doing this list. So I'm gonna let you go first. We're gonna do the same. We'll do it the same way, but we're just gonna put a little bit more pep in our step.
All right,
on to the next team.
All right, let me pull mine up right here. All right, cool. So real quick, I'll just get with it without really too much. Number one, I actually went with the Miami Heat. I had the Warriors for the longest time, but I'm going off the strength of schedule. The team who I believe is the best doesn't necessarily mean that they're number one in my power rankings. I actually believe the Warriors are the best team in the NBA so far this year. Miami Heat, 7-3. Without Oladipo, wins at Brooklyn, at Memphis, at Dallas. Tyler Hero looking like a stud, 20 points per game. They have a defensive identity under Eric Spoelstra, and they're playing great defense. Fifth in defensive efficiency, fourth in offensive efficiency. Miami Heat, off the strength of schedule and their identity and the wins that they have, I'm going to go with the Miami Heat number one. What's yours?
So you're going 1 through 10?
Yeah.
You got to give me 2, bro. You got to.
Oh yeah. And Golden State Warriors are number 2. Steph Curry looking like the MVP. What I have with them right now, 5-game win streak. No James Wiseman or Klay Thompson. First in defensive efficiency. You have to look at the team that they played, though. But they also have bench depth. Gary Payton the second. Bielitsa, Andre Iguodala, Jonathan Kuminga coming back. Sixth man of the year candidate Jordan Poole. He's moved his points per game up from 11 to 18 points per game, shooting 94% from the free throw line. And the way that they're moving the ball is spectacular. I actually believe that the Warriors are actually the best team, but due to strength of schedule, I'm putting the Miami Heat over them. So Miami Heat 1, Warriors number 2.
So for me, I always go backwards. So at 10, I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Dallas Mavericks looking right now, they are at 6-3. Sometimes when we kind of go through these lists, we kind of got to go through looking at records, strength of schedule, and the team itself.
Yeah.
Kind of projecting for the future to a certain degree and kind of seeing how they're playing right now. So at 10, I got the Dallas Mavericks. At 9, I got Milwaukee.
Okay.
Right after 4 and 6, getting just Drew Holiday back. And dealing with some injuries and the lows of coming off of a championship. I'm sure they'll be higher on this list when we get to, like right now we're in week 4, when we get to further down the season, All-Star game part, we'll start looking at them as a top 5 team. I'm not swamped on that part. I'm going to let you go. You got to give me 3 and 4.
Okay. All right. So my 3 and 4, scroll. All right, Brooklyn Nets, number 3. Kevin Durant is an MVP race, 29 points per game, 57% from the field, 38% from 3. 5-game win streak prior to losing to the Chicago Bulls, who is a good team. 10th in defensive efficiency. James Harden, slowly but surely, he's going to catch on to his stride, and they're playing without one Kyrie Irving. Then I have number 4, without Ben Simmons, the Philadelphia 76ers are sitting at 8-3. They're the number 1 seed in the East, the number 1 in offensive efficiency. They are 19th in defensive efficiency, but you also have to give a testament to Ben Simmons. I still continue to beat the dead horse again. My favorite saying was he was the defensive player of the year last year, and he was robbed the greatest atrocity in American sports history by giving by giving Rudy Gobert yet again another Defensive Player of the Year award. And they have 2 wins versus the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry, Ralph. I had to do it to you. So that's my 3-4. The Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers.
Me at 8 and 7. I got the Denver Nuggets at 8.
Okay.
Jokic has been
Playing
doing
people out on stretches.
One thing that kind of scares me a little bit is Michael Porter Jr. I just seen that he's starting to have some lower back issues.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not one of those things where he got his money and now he's about to get hurt. Where the issues that was plaguing him with his back come to haunt him. Hopefully they start to get Jamal Murray back. I haven't really looked into how that's working out right now, where he's at, where the timetable is coming back. But with that team right now, man, they're playing really well. Jokic is still Jokic, and they play hard every night. So at 7, I got the Phoenix Suns. 3, Devin Booker, Monty Williams, DeAndre Ayton. What more can you say? I see them put some big victories up on the board. So at 7, I got the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. At number 5, I had the Chicago Bulls, top 5 in the world, Craig. 7 and 3, 6 in defensive efficiency, 6 in offensive efficiency, 9th in true shooting percentage. I like true shooting percentage because it's going to be a little nerdy stat here, but I only threw it up there because it's free throws plus 3-point plus field goals, and I didn't feel like putting all the other, extracurricular. I'm not deep, like that. Wins versus the Nets, wins versus the Jazz. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are both 5th and 6th leading scorers in the NBA. How many teams can say that? None of them. So the Chicago Bulls, man, and they're giving it to you on the defense side of the ball. Number 6, the New York Knicks. They have wins versus 76ers, wins versus the Bulls. They came back from a 21-point deficit, a game that I got a chance to watch, to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, who right now at the time they've dealt with injuries. They don't have Brook Lopez in there. They're actually not in my top 10 right now. I believe they're going to be an after the All-Star break team, but I have the New York Knicks at number 6. They're in offensive efficiency. Their defensive efficiency is not even in the top 25, which I find surprising. I know Mitchell Robinson's a good defender, but my goodness. So sometimes stats don't always tell the true story, because you got to look at the team that they wind up going up against, and they're 8th in true shooting percentage. So I have the Knicks at number 6 and the Bulls at number 5, respectively.
And so at 6, I got the Utah Jazz.
Okay.
I got the Utah Jazz. They just always seem to play hard, bro. They go hard. They're always a well-coached team. For me, it's just it's early in the season. We're only 10, 11 games in for a lot of these teams.
No, it feels like 25 games already.
Right. It feels like the season's been going on for a minute, but we're literally week 4, week 5 in the NBA. So it's a lot of basketball left. But at 6, I got the Utah Jazz. They've been ranked as high as 1. And just kind of going through the motions of the season right now. I just from seeing what some of the other teams, or how I've seen them play, how they've been playing, they've just been playing like they're right around this area. They're not one of the best teams, but they're not the bottom at the same token. At 5, I got the Bulls.
All right.
Everything rolling. They just shellacked the Nets last night.
Yeah, I know you like that one.
Io. The one thing though, Io getting heavy minutes and playing well makes me nervous for Kobe White. That's my 5.
Okay. Number 7 for me, I had the Utah Jazz. So we are in agreement there. They had back-to-back losses without Mike Conley. But they did beat the Hawks, who are struggling, and the Bucks, who are also struggling, though. But they were both in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. The Jazz are 2nd in offensive efficiency, 4th in defensive efficiency, 3rd in true shooting percentage. They are a regular season team. They're going to shoot a lot of threes, and they play hero ball once again. So I don't expect them to do anything later down the line. But Utah Jazz are 7. Number 8, I got to put some respect on the Washington Wizards. The Wiz Kids are here to play. 2-game win streak. Wins versus the Bucks and the Hawks and the Celtics and the Grizzlies. 12th in offensive efficiency, 12th in true shooting percentage, 8th in defensive efficiency. Shout out to Wes Unseld Jr. having those guys buy in on the defensive end. Bradley Beal's become a great leader, and they have multiple options. They have Bradley Beal as a scoring option, Kyle Kuzma as an option, Montrezl Harrell, a.k.a. KRS-One, the rapper, Montrezl Harrell, who's a hustle rebounder and get you some points as well. 6th man of the year, so I like what they have brewing in Washington. They're coming up in the world.
And then I think, well, for me, I might at 4. I'm going to go Nets, man. I was going to put the Heat at 4, but after watching what I just watched last night and how down the stretch, James Harden is just not playing well.
Nope.
In any of the games that I've watched him play. But they're – I think going into that game, they were 7-3. They're 7-4 now. So to have a 7-3 record with James not playing well, KD is playing like the best player in the league, and they're beating some good teams. So to be at where they're at with James not playing well, we're really only playing well with one superstar.
They can be dangerous later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At 3, I'm gonna go Sixers.
Okay.
Yeah, at 3, I'm gonna go Sixers, man. I'm very surprised by how well they're playing with no Ben Simmons. Which for me, I think lets you know that you don't need him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, unless you know that
offensively, yeah.
Unless you know that you don't need him, you might have your issues going down the road, but. One of the trades I seen recently for him for Jaylen Brown, I would pull the trigger on that. Yeah, that I would most certainly do that.
But I don't think the Celtics are going to take it. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I got the Sixers at 3.
All right, and then for me, we're at 8 and 9 for me. So, 9 and 10. Excuse me. The Phoenix Suns at 9 and the Memphis Grizzlies at 10. I almost put teams like the LA Clippers, but Eric Bledsoe have been looking garbage all season. So just that couldn't I couldn't get that out of my head. I mean, defensively he does some good things, but the offensively, and the fact that I think Paul George now they won 4 in a row. So I'm giving credence to that. But the Grizzlies have been a little bit better, and the fact that Ja Morant got a win over them. Ja Morant almost beat the Lakers single-handedly, even though the Lakers really not that great of a team, but he's able to do that. He's been balling out. Phoenix Suns, they have a winning record, and they want to prove to teams, prove to the NBA that they weren't a fluke last year. But right now, we're going to see how that transpires. So I have the Phoenix Suns at 9 and the Memphis Grizzlies rounding out my top 10 in the NBA.
So with me, to finish this up, Miami Heat at 2, man. Playing good defensively. Got a lot of ball hawks over there. Tyler Hero came into the season saying, I'm in the same conversation with this person, and this person. We all looked at him crazy, but playing very well at the beginning of the season. Kind of returning to that bubble form that we've seen. That makes me think about that video where they're saying Jason Tatum was talking about him, and he was just like,
"Oh yeah, the bubble."
He perform like this. Oh, this is that bubble.
It's bubble.
Bubble, huh?
Bubble.
But we went into it. We did our projection at the beginning of the season, and we talked about teams that we thought were where we listed the NBA as a whole, and we both had the Warriors, if not at 1, then at 2. And they looking good, man. Steph dropping a 50 and 10 on his protege. Gary Payton Jr. or Gary Payton II coming in, getting some good minutes, playing real good defense, on-ball defense. Like we said, Klay Thompson, Steph, Jordan Poole will be a 3-headed juggernaut. Draymond is Draymond. So I'm so happy at where we're at right now. This is one of my favorite parts of the year. Thanksgiving coming up. The NBA season is in full swing. NFL is starting to round out. We halfway through the year.
NCAA basketball will be on the horizon.
Basketball is starting to come up. It's starting to get real interesting in college football. Purdue coming up with an upset, beating their second top 5 team. Iowa and Michigan State. Alabama barely squeaking by an LSU team that's struggling. So football's good, man. And then we probably gonna end up getting our first a different ACC champion in football in a minute, with Clemson struggling and Pitt playing very well.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild.
Yeah. But good episode, man.
Always.
Shout out to all the people that hit me and said happy birthday. Shout out to Elena B. Singing happy birthday on it. Really, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna have you go in here and you're gonna say happy birthday to daddy. And she was like, all right, cool. And I didn't expect her to sing the happy birthday song though, so that was pretty dope.
Oh yeah. That was nice, man. That was nice. Great way to open the show. Right.
But all right, bro, I'm gonna holler at you.
All right.
But before we get out of here, y'all, shout out to our sponsors. Fitboxer will be in the studio back next week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, as well as follow the page on Instagram at J.U.K. Sports Show. Follow the Facebook page, YouTube channel, the same name, the He Say She Say all one word channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at KYNGRALPH, and that's the same name on Twitch as well.
And you can follow me on Instagram at the.houseofhoops for NBA content, highlights, player, and team analysis.
All right. Thank you all for watching.
Have a great day. Peace.